Hey, y'all. Hey. What you got to say? That's cool in the game, used to say back in the day. I am your man, D Real, live and alert on the north side of the dirt. It is Thursday, and y'all know what we do on Thursday. Okay, we have a live show where I talk about things that are near and dear to the heart of the Rock Me Nation as well as myself. And Grand Madam. Hi. Hi, how are you? Nico. Doth mine eyes deceiveth me. Oh my goodness. What's happening? What's happening, young lion? And Black Panther on the scene. What's cracking, y'all? It is good to see y'all here. Why am I talking like a damn game show host? Anyway, like I was saying, good to see y'all. Couldn't be no show without nobody to watch it and respond to it and react to it, the good, the bad, the ugly. So again, thank you for pulling up. When I get enough of y'all up in here, we can get started, man. I got a bunch of stuff I need to pull out. Gotta grab a picture. A couple of pictures, actually. So I can do that. Do. This one? Well, I need it regardless. Bam. Boom. I wonder. Let's try. I'll grab that too. Yeehaw. You know what? I think I got it already. I think I'm doing too much. Let me stop. Bomb. Whoa! Y'all don't want to see I'm up in here fooling around. What's up, Javon? How you doing, bruh? Yes, young Nico, it has been some time. I hope that all things are transpiring well for you and that you are getting your goat in a good way. Because sometimes goats can be trying, as we know. But that I need to look. Bam. I already had the damn thing. Anyway. Got him. Okay. Bottom got him. Ain't nobody. Okay. Here y'all. Pulling in. Y'all go ahead, get comfortable. Say, come on, yo. What's good, my guy? What's going on? Everybody, usual suspects. Let me grab these emojis. Moroni. You. Oh, that's right. And you too. Boomer. Okay. Is that it? That's it. Yeah. All right. Boom. Okay. Yeah. Like how everybody comes in and introduces themselves. Y'all say, hey, y'all are such a friendly lot. You know that? I like that about y'all. Y'all are extra ultra friendly, as you should be. Your mama's taught you well. You come in a room and you say hello. That's what's up. Do I got all it? Some people gonna be mad that they wasn't not in here in the building because it's finna to be a lot of things going on tonight. And when all said and done, people are gonna be like, yo, was you in that live with D Real? Boy, he showed us some stuff. He told us some stuff, and we learned it some stuff, and we was entertained with some stuff, and it was just stuff. That's how I feel. This whatever statement. Let me see now. Let me see. I guess I can whet your appetite a tiny little bit. Star goes off into my foray. Paul Martin, what's good with you? I want to talk about tonight because everybody been in my face about it. But that's what you get for being a Chiefs fan, right? So we're gonna talk about it real quick. D-Hop to the Chiefs, and we're gonna be done with that. 10 days of Halloween. I am going to give y'all a sneak preview of the next pictorial. Warriors. The Warriors come out and play as a musical. Now, before you say, hell no, D, that ain't even gonna happen. Remember The Outsiders? Johnny Boy, Soda Pop, Pony Boy? A musical. So, can't say. You know what I mean? Healthy in Halloween. Now, for those of you that don't know what the word halcyon means, it's a fancy word, but it means to hearkening back to a more nostalgic or happier time. Okay, nostalgic for some, torturous for others. Of course, I'm talking about, let's say if we went back about 45, 50 years ago, what was you doing for Halloween? And do you remember? And the 4 or 5 Halloweens after that, we're going to talk about it. We're going to have a conversation about it, and it might even be therapeutic. Damson Idris as T'Challa. Damson Idris as T'Challa. Did you get the nuance in the inflection? Yeah, I meant it that way. Factors we should be examining when we talk about what we want from Damson Idris and the baseball cap guy. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's about us, it should be about us, right? You know what I mean? I think they are beginning to realize that they cannot continue to make movies indefinitely that are BS or told from a certain perspective and expect people to keep coming to it. Other than the stands. And they make up a very small percentage. Always have. You know what I'm saying? If you're peddling a product, you know what I'm saying? You should understand that if you are attracting, you're using something to attract, then once you've attracted it, you've got to deliver. Like, best example I can give. When you talking to a lady and, you know, there's a lot of play and a lot of talk going on prior to when y'all, you know what I mean? And you done talked it up like, oh, it's about to change your life. And what you promised to be rich, and Brie turned out to be saltines and monster. I know one's better than the other, but it don't taste that way. But that's the kind of thing we're gonna be discussing when it comes to that. A lot of things going on. A lot of things going on. A lot of things going on comic wise. And there are a couple of newbies that have caught my attention and make me want to pursue them from the big two, you know, because they're kind of tweaking their approach. Yeah, that's a good word. What we talking about over here? Grand Madam said saltines and sardines. Yeah, yeah, saltines and sardines. Yeah, that's that. Yeah. So yeah, it is really damn saltines. I just thought about it. Saltines and sardines. Was it that bad? Woo, told you. Oh, goodness, that I can go to bed happy tonight and just chuckle about that. I ain't did nothing yet, sure. I'm just breathe. Yes, yeah, got it. You'd have got in here like 5 seconds earlier. I just got done. I ain't doing nothing but giving an overview of all the things I'm gonna talk about tonight. But you're actually on time because I ain't really got started in earnest yet. So welcome, Ashura. Welcome. It is always good. You changed your Did you change your thumbnail? Is it something different? I can't tell you. Anyway, well, we about to hit them magic numbers in a second. And speaking of numbers, as I always say, if you digging with a brother shoveling, put some dirt in my bucket. Y'all hit them likes. Feel free to comment respectfully. Otherwise, you know what I'm saying? We got that's the same pig. Oh, okay, I guess so. All right. Okay, it's me then. It's me, bro. Don't trip. Yeah. Okay, we're waiting. I ain't got my watch on. Shoot, I'm all out of sorts tonight. Oh, he's saying hi. Anyway, that right there, y'all. Matter of fact, I should just let that run, huh? I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna let that run. I'm gonna just let it run. I'm gonna just let it run. They're like, why do you keep saying that? Who ain't? Okay. All right. Whoever left out came back in. Real quick, a question I wanted to ask y'all. Marvel Comics, in whatever form, I think it's more than been proven that they aren't just for kids. They aren't just for teenagers. So if it was a popular adult franchise, John Wick, 4 movies, Everybody loved him. And they talk about doing a spinoff. Now, of all the people I've come across who have watched John Wick movies, they've said they've liked John Wick movies less than others. But there are very few people I have come across who have said, I don't like John Wick, or I don't like that John Wick movie. I like 3 more than I like 2. I like 1 more than I like 4. But I don't hate or dislike any of them. That guy should do Marvel movies and leave him alone and let him cook. And I'm being rude as hell, not saying the man's name. So, my bad. Chad Stahelski? Yeah, that guy. So, I think he follows a certain rule when it comes to making, action movies. And it shows through in everything he does, or the John Wick movies. He's got an eye for action. You know what I'm saying? As far as a director, Derek Kolstad is the writer. So I guess that's who I should really be giving the props to. You know what I mean? Somebody needs to incorporate, if it's a superhero movie, it's supposed to be first and foremost superhero, which means action. So first and foremost in my superhero movie, I'm looking for action. And action is what I should see the most of in that movie. Secondary to action, tell me a good story. Whether that be a story you made up or a story you pulled directly out of a comic book and put it on the page. Because that's what 99% of us expect out of a comic book movie who have read that comic book or follow that comic book character. We want to see that sucker pulled right off the screen and thrown on. You feel me what I'm talking about? So, wow. Okay. Now, okay, I will respond since Shoreh said something. Kids can't afford or buy comics. Their parents do, and those days are over. They want to buy clothing and electronics. Or manga. Because they're learning about it some kind of way. You know what I'm saying? These people, and if by that token what you are saying is true, then it would account for the reason why all of these children think they are experts on all things Marvel and DC when they've only just been introduced to it. But the writers, the directors, the producers, the people behind these movies like to play the comic experienced against the comic wish they had the experience in like kind of a East Coast, West Coast kind of a thing. Okay, the comics are their own thing and movies are their own thing. Why can't it just be left at that? Because when you put something on the screen based on a comic, it offends those who respect and would rather see a more comic-like version. Not to offend, but that's just the way it is. Less money on CGI and more time in costume with a good story. Yeah, you know what I noticed? Kamoyo, what's happening in comics now? People are taking off their masks and just standing around with their masks off in comics more. I wonder where they got that idea from. See what I'm saying? I told y'all years ago that the movies always impact the comic books. I mean, you knew that if you read comic books for any length of time, but it is happening at a much quicker pace. You feel me? You say that mask off thing. Yeah, I know. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. That's the disingenuous part of that fandom. They freak when a film isn't like the manga or anime. And how is that any different? It's not. You know what I'm saying? If you read it or you played it a certain way, you expect it to be that way. Whether it's manga, whether it's video games, bottom line, the fans, the followers, the people who shell out the money for this shit are the ones who should be honored, are the ones who should be respected, or at least their wishes of what they would like to see on screen. So I guess that warms you up. I'm going to dive into a topic I know y'all won't talk about. The Penguin. Now, it ain't the Penguin, the show. I don't want to talk about the show specifically because there are some people who have not watched the Penguin yet, who aren't planning on watching the Penguin yet. But I will give you my unadulterated opinion. I find myself oftentimes forgetting that this is a show based on comic book characters. See what I'm saying? I might be I might be going over, overly gracious with it, but Sopranos meets Goodfellas meets Scarface? Is that a good way to describe it? Because there's a lot of that type stuff going on. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people, this here, y'all, is my whole thing behind this. Grand Madam said the Penguin is right out of an episode of The Untouchables. Wow. I get that reference. Sure, you have not seen the Penguin yet? Right after this, get on HBO Max and check it out. And if you don't like it, come back next week or tomorrow and let me know. Oh, this is what I was getting at. Okay. That lady's name is Shoreh Aghdashloo. You may recognize her from X-Men The Last Stand. You may recognize her from The Expanse if you watched The Expanse. And she is currently on The Penguin as Nadia Moroni, Boss Moroni's wife. Yeah. Did y'all know Shoreh Aghdashloo is Iranian? Did you know Nadia Moroni is Iranian? Look at that. People doing exactly what they supposed to be doing. Now, is that so hard? Is that, I mean, how many Iranian actresses is it out there that sound like they smoke cigarettes? So I mean, and I apologize for that remark. Her voice is the way it is because when she was younger, she had a surgical procedure and they messed up, and that's why she sounds like she sounds. But all I wanted to say about it was great cast. You know what I'm saying? You didn't go and get some Latin woman, or you didn't go and get some Eastern Asian woman. You hit it right on the head. Iranian character, Iranian woman playing the Iranian character. Well freaking done. Okay, here we go. I knew y'all. You ain't seen it either. You okay? Watch it. Don't watch it, but it's good. There. She was also on 24. Yes, she was. I don't know who Lady Yoko is. Husky voice lady. Very, very husky voice lady. Mass Effect. Yes. She is beautiful, and I know she's older than I am. Talk about an inspiration of beauty. I want to say, Grand Madam, that she was born. I don't have to say. I can say right here, May 11th, 1952. So she is in her 70s. In them. 72, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, if my math is right. She just turned 72 this year. That's not a lot. That's not a lot. And you're not bad your darn self. So there you go. Theo, hey, what's going on, bro? Glad you can make it. He said his fault. We ain't gonna worry about that. She's been in sci-fi TV for a good while. And prior to getting into sci-fi TV, she was in many Iranian movies. Iranian movies? I didn't even know Iran had a movie, industry to speak of where it generated stars. There we go. So yeah. Would she be a cougar for me? I always wonder. For me, a cougar, you got to be 15, at least 15 years older. because 10 to me, 10 years older ain't really a cougar. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when you when you're in your 40s and you got you a 20-year-old thing, then you're a cougar. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, if they are like a couple years older than you, that's just an older woman. You know what I'm saying? It ain't necessarily that. But nah, I don't know if I could get past the voice, Kamoyo. That's not a sexy voice to me. I mean, you got your Kathleen Turners and you know that kind of voice, but she's raspier than any Kathleen Turner, and I'm just like, nah, I'm okay. and you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I read where she said her family practices Islam, but she doesn't. So there you go. Get that. And they talk about, you know, films that she's been in. You can look her up on IMDb. She's really you're 51. Oh yeah, she'd be a cougar for you, buddy. She she'd be a cougar for you. She 20 plus. 21. 14 years older than you. You turn 58 in February. Okay. All right. So we're the same age, bub. And moving right along. I told y'all we were going to talk about this right here. So let's go ahead and talk about it. Now, people been asking me, how do you feel about DeAndre Hopkins coming to the Kansas City Chiefs? Every little bit helps. Every little bit helps. And I ain't going to say DeAndre Hopkins is a little bit. He's a lot of bit, at least for us who are suffering like a mug, at least to some people, in the wide receiver department, because we ain't got no wide receivers other than Xavier Worthy to speak of who aren't injured. So him coming in, and then they also pulled some more guys up from the practice squad. I think Nico Remigio might be getting pulled up to the next level off the practice squad. And they might be able to put some cast around him that can complement him. My advice, and this is just my advice, Andy, this is just my advice. I was around him with some people that can be a distraction for him, that can help him to even better get separation. So he's a phenomenal receiver. He's had more seasons over 1,000 yards than he hasn't. So that's cool. And then the way we acquired him was cool too. If we go to the Super Bowl, the Titans get a 4th round pick. If we don't go, they get a 5th round pick, and they covered half his salary. So, woo, go Brett Veach. You wheeling and dealing like a drug dealer, player. That like one of them old school pimps. I'm like, goodness gracious, that was a gangster of a deal right there. And Kamoyo say the whole league banged up, you know, and you trying to make it, but they trying to make football safer, Kamoyo. If you want to make football safer, tell Tua to sit his ass down before he wind up in a wheelchair or sucking on a tube or something, man. You're gonna have 2 concussions in. But anyway, we ain't talking about that crazy man. He got a injury wish. Seemed like if that happened for anyway. D-Hop, yes, he will contribute. If he is given the opportunity, just get him in front of Pat. That's all the opportunity you need. Show us what you do. Show us what you got. Show us that you can still make them moves. Show us you can still get that separation. He ain't been doing too much this year, so maybe coming over here is what he need to get him started. If if he is garbage, he will work for at least 2 or 3 games before the rest of the league catch on to the fact that he is a decoy for Travis Kelce or McCole Hardman or one of these other tight ends, or even for the check down. You know what I mean? Samaje Perine does that pretty good. So that's how I feel about that. I know you got questions. Hi, Keita. How are you today? I am always happy to see you because you make it not be a sausage fest, you and Grand Madam. Who loses targets because of B-Hop or D-Hop, excuse me. Hardman. And I mean, Hardman losing targets isn't a bad thing because Hardman does more jet sweeps than he does actual routes. So at least that's what I always see him coming out the backfield rather than down deep or somewhere. I mean, not to say he does, but he don't get. I mean, he might get targeted 5 times and catch 1, maybe 2. Get him 3 to D-Hop. You know what I'm saying? Keep it a buck. He said, it's October. It's a bratwurst fest. Y'all. And Keita laughing. Y'all see, the Rock With Me Nation got some freak in it. And I'm going to just go ahead and say it. If that upsets you too bad, damn it, embrace your inner freak. You know what I mean? Anywho, what do I want to talk about next? Because I'm gonna just bring them to y'all in no particular order. Comics? Can we do comics? Yes, let's do comics. We are going to talk about comics. I picked up a couple comics the other day. Strudel. Oh. Anyway. This one right here, y'all. Werewolf by Night, number 2. It is the Red Band. You know, I'm kind of liking these Red Band comics. They remind me of heavy metal. There were certain books and certain stories in heavy metal that were gory. You know what I'm saying? And realistically, there's nothing wrong with a little bit of gore. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and, well, anyway, I'll tell you what's going on. Well, real quick, you can look right there. Elsa Bloodstone. Elsa Bloodstone is, I saw issue 1 of this, but I don't own it, but I'm gonna go, I got it ordered. Because for some reason, man, the LCS is out of red bands. You know what I mean? Except the blood hunts. They got like a bunch of blood hunts in there now. But the red bands of this, gone. You know what I mean? So I ordered one. But, you know, there's a lot more of the thing. Remember Marvel Max? with Punisher, and they had that Cage run, and there was a couple other characters in Marvel Max, and you got to see that, like you got to see stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what's happening with the Red Band. This particular book, you get to see a lot of well, here you go, right here. See that? That's Jack Russell, by the way. He been juicing. That's a big ass werewolf, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? He done got gigantical, man. He done got gigantical. That's a big werewolf. You know what I'm saying? So, and Kamoyo, I know you like a big werewolf fan. So, show my man some love. And guess who pulled up to give Jack Russell a hand, or should I say Jack Russell and Elsa Bloodstone a hand? Shades of the early Werewolf by Night comic, where he was hired to capture Jack Russell. Now he is coming to Jack Russell's aid. Who's the villains? The Darkhold, and remember Night Watch. Remember Night Watch or Death Watch? And vampires. So there's a lot of stuff going on. They're gathering up Darkhold energy, and Moon Knight and Elsa Bloodstone even get into the act. So yeah, man, they ain't playing. They ain't playing. That being said, we need some Red Band T'Challa. You feel me? So, and look what Moon Knight had to do to him to calm him down. Calm your ass down, Jack. So, bruh, this joint go hard. I ain't even gonna front. It goes hard. It is well worth picking up. Very well. I know I was talking to Juju on X earlier, and he was, he was asking about it, and I'm like, yeah, go ahead and scoop that. Go ahead and scoop that. What's that Werewolf by Night like? That Werewolf by Night it's okay. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, go ahead and cop that Werewolf. Glad werewolf designs are getting better. Human-sized werewolves are anatomically impossible. That's true. That is very true. Yeah. Oh, werewolf is Jack Russell and not the new kid? No, this is Jack Russell. Matter of fact, I will read you the synopsis of this book, Panthro, since you need to be, you know what I'm saying? I'm from Missouri. I can show you. Okay. When a sudden and seemingly eternal night descended upon the world following the events of Blood Hunt, the tightly wound control Jack Russell held over the beast inside shattered. Waking up with no memory of what had happened while he was transformed, Jack was horrified to find two of his neighbors torn to shreds, and they showed it. Believing himself responsible, he chained himself up only to have his unbridled transformation triggered again by his friend and monster hunter Elsa Bloodstone's appearance. Meanwhile, in the dark corners of Transylvania, a new cohort of Darkholders have emerged with the Hood at the helm. The Hood, Parker Robbins? Uh-oh. Their goal, to build a brand new Darkhold by whatever means necessary. He said, okay. Okay. Yes. And it's worth it too, Panther. Just them little, little snippets and shots y'all got to look at. Yeah. And like I was saying, I thought it last week I was saying werewolves don't get enough love. Werewolves don't get enough love. Need to show some love to the lycanthrope. What else we got going on here? Black Panther, Red Band would be. I was thinking that very thing when I was reading Miles Morales number 25. I wish, we could have like a battle between them two, Red Band style, and see what T'Challa would do to him. So that's what's popping with that book there. And this is the variant edition. And I know Theo probably talked about it on his live. I'm gonna catch the review, bro. I promise. That's Avengers number 19. Yeah, you gotta have Storm prominently showcased in this baby. But Avengers number 19, or as I like to call it, the Dr. Doom flex. Well, let me catch this. Let me catch this werewolf comment real quick. We'll get back to it because it looked like he put a whole lot of work into it. A small werewolf will be around 7 to 9 feet and easily 600 pounds. Full size will be up to 15 feet and well over a ton. Read a lot of werewolf stuff. Those are the averages. Thank you. That is useful. I told y'all this episode of Thursday Live was going to be edutaining. Anyway, this book right here, if we ain't caught up, that's not cover art. Dr. Doom is actually master of the mystic arts now, as of the wrap of the Blood Hunt storyline. Thank you for making Victor Von Doom be a dick. Pause. You know how I mean that. Being a scoundrel, being a villain. Paul Martin, you can appreciate this. Being a damn villain, doing villain stuff, lying, double crossing. That's what villains do, baby. So kudos to y'all over there at Marvel for finally figuring out everybody don't want their villains to be damn heroes or likable. I want my villains to not be likable. Anyway, Dr. Doom summons the Avengers out into the desert somewhere and starts seducing them. You know what I'm saying? And he's on that Doom tip too, because this is how he comes at him. Doom would speak with you. Doom would, you know what that remind me of? In Conan the Barbarian, when he was trying to infiltrate the cult and they caught him and beat him up, and Thulsa Doom, James Earl Jones came in there. I mean, they done beat him up. He got blood coming out of his nose, and he like, I wish to speak with you now. Like, what? Beat the shit out of him. Don't he though? Don't he be finessing? Dripping. Don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Me too, sure. Me too. He said, notice Doom waited till T'Challa was gone. Yeah, that's another thing. They are starting to address the facts. Okay, T'Challa went on a mission inside a Meridian Diadem. If you don't know who that is, go back in their earlier issues of the Avengers where they fought the Ashy Combine. Ashen Combine. That's a strange name for some villains. Anyway, he offered to go in there, and Falcon asked him why. And he was like, because I don't want to deal with her right now. Not because he don't want to deal with her, but because he acknowledges that he is the reason. that they aren't together anymore. So we can't be like, Aurora, you bitch. No, it was Aurora was doing what she was supposed to do as a wife. Now, as a queen, and even when he got past all of that, it was still the things he was doing because he was compartmentalizing. But I'm not here to be no marriage counselor. Anyway, wow. Didn't I tell you the Rock With Me Nation is some freaks? Exhibit B. Meridian Diadem is a dope stripper name. Man, y'all. It kind of is. I would tip her. Just because you got a cool name. Okay. Yeah, but to address this, we know how that would have went if T'Challa, because T'Challa, does T'Challa still got he's still magic proof. You know what I'm saying? You don't mess around and this will end up being the situation. I love that picture. That picture is so dope to me. Say, boy, all the magic in the world ain't gonna save you from this anti-metal, my dude. Anywho, though, bam. He has them go all the way out into a desert in freaking Afghanistan, and then becomes the devil and starts to tempt them, with phantoms, and he makes animations out of the sand, and you know what I'm saying, and his whole thing is he comes out and he comes at the Avengers with, y'all have always had the power to make the world right. Why haven't you seized it and done so? Instead of being Captain America, you could be Captain Earth. You could be the most powerful. You can be the most technological. You can be a goddess among goddesses. You know what I'm saying? They throwing all that temptation at him. Oh, you can be the supercomputer. Oh, you can be the witch of witches. Y'all can be the Avenger planet tyrants. And you notice they got on Dr. Doom colors. You could have did better than that, Victor. You could have did better than that. But of course, we know the Avengers are not getting ready to succumb to a dictator. My first thought was, oh, he gonna bewitch him and bewilder him and force them to do his bidding. But that didn't happen because he's already done that a bunch of times before. So I guess it is. And here's a very cool picture of the Avengers if you haven't seen it already, with Storm in front. And I'm gonna need an action figure of Storm in this costume with an extra cloud head sculpt. But basically, they tell him, in all the ways that they know how to tell him. He insults Sam because Sam's like, "Oh, you evil tyrant," and this, that, and the other. And Dr. Doom like, I don't want to hear nothing nobody named Captain America has to say. Did him like that, just dirty, like, because at first I was gonna take it like, is that black people? But nah, I remember back in the day when Luke Cage went and whooped that ass over $20. So I know he know better than to do that. So ultimately, what appears to be temptation turns out to be I think Vision sums it up best. At the end, after all is said and done, Vision says the purpose of Doom's little demonstration was not to change our minds or his. It was a thought exercise. We were props, his devil's advocates. Our only purpose was to aid him in troubleshooting his own thinking, to allow him to reinforce his own ideas, the rightness of them. He believes that he must do what we will not. And now he has the power to see it through. Jed McKay can write. Jed McKay can write. Say what you want to say. That shit was powerful. You know what I'm saying? And dead on. What y'all talk about? Storm and T'Challa in marriage counselor must remove all breakables from the office. Let's petition to add Grand Madam as the counselor that gets T'Challa and Aurora to address the issue between them. Grand Madam could consult on the book. I guess we could get a storm with lightning effects. I mean, let's just get a storm with weather effects, but I got my own lightning. So I'm like, you don't get, hey, you don't make it. I get my own, damn it. That's the motto around here. I will get my own lightning. You know what I'm saying? You want effects? eBay. It's a gang of effects in 1/12 scale. I think my next thing is getting ready to be explosions, like like bomb, boom, blowing up, and fire and that kind of stuff. Because I'm more into the diorama aspect of it now, and displays and things. Y'all saw it, and that's the perfect damn segue. But I got one more book I got to talk about. Doggone it. Okay, I messed up my segue. Damn it. Anyway, I collect Avengers monthly because I believe in more bang for your buck. And you know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna get some Marvel, they're gonna be jewels. You know what I mean? It's gotta be the jewels. This little baby right here, is the main reason I jumped up and grabbed it is chock full of Green Lanterns. How many Green Lanterns? All of them. Well, all of the prominent ones. Okay. And they jump off going into it. You know what I'm saying? It kicks off with John. John gets hit hard. You know what I mean? Blood came out his mouth. You know what I mean? But he walked it off. He tanked it. Well, he tanked it with some help. Who did that to him? Should I? I just love seeing Green Lanterns, man. I don't care who they are. And there's an amazing Green Lantern called Jadestone. An amazing Green Lantern. That's dope. Yes, Paul Martin. Yes, Paul Martin. Yes, Paul Martin. Yes. Yes, Paul Martin. But not like what you think. Not like what you think. Comics can be deceiving sometimes. There's something called the Chamber of the Unseeing, and they're like the power source now, like what the Guardians was. So that's what you're looking at. These guys right here. Kind of cool looking right there. See where my Band-Aid is? Right there. So A lot of fun stuff going on. And when I said every Green Lantern, I meant every Green Lantern. All the ones you want to see anyway. Put it like that. Hey, they even got a Star Sapphire in there for good measure. I always like Star Sapphire, even with the damage. There are Durlans in this. There are Thanagarians in this. I mean, it's an outer space spectacle. If you like that outer space stuff, you know what I'm saying? This is one you cannot afford to miss. Okay. Jeremy Adams and Philip Kennedy Johnson are the writers. And if you don't know Salvador Larroca when you see him, I don't know what to tell you. So it's a lot jumping off. See what I'm saying? All the ones you want to see. Larfleeze. All the ones you want to see. You know what? When I say all the ones you want to see, all the ones you want to see. Mogo as a Red Lantern. What in the hell is Mogo mad about? Oh boy. This story continues in Green Lantern number 16. I want to know what the hell Mogo is pissed off about. A whole pissed off planet? A whole pissed off planet? Yeah, I'm trying to see what that's about. I'm trying to see what that's about. So that's what's got my interest with the big two. That's what I'm fooling around with the big two. Y'all been following? Hold up. He said, I bought that book too. Hey, lanterns, man, all day. That leads me to a doozy of a question in Q&A. Hold on to it. Hold on to it. At least we're going to have a doozy. I'm going to hold you to that. Erto Mojo, hold my beer. Oh, my. All right, yeah. Consider me peaked. I mean, I was Flash and Green Lantern. I just fooled with, bar none, because of all of the stories you could get with a Green Lantern. You could have like Earth-based stuff going on with Green Lantern, or you can have outer space stuff going on with Green Lantern. That's what I always liked about Green Lantern. And with Flash is Flash. You know what I mean? But I always ask the question, why aren't there more black speedsters in comics? How come there aren't more black speedsters in comics? There should be more black speedsters. Who shouldn't there? Am I tripping? It should put it like this. There should be more black speedsters than there are lightning-based black characters. Yeah, I said it. And we'll die on that hill. Somebody tell me different. Anywho, what I about to get into. All right. I hear the yammering and talking about this. I hear the conversation about this. I'm going to give y'all a chance to get your stuff together and tell me what you need to tell me about this right here. Take your time, because I'm taking mine. And I want to be sure before I start running my mouth. Okay. So now, my question to y'all, Rock With Me Nation. which really isn't a question. Damson Idris, the rumor mill says, supposedly may be cast in the role either as T'Challa, the Black Panther, or T'Challa, the son of the Black Panther. Now, never mind this poor clip art. We got it here to just illustrate a point. Now, there are a lot of questions I have, not about Damson Idris's ability to play the role, because I've seen Damson Idris in enough projects to know he should be able to hold his own. And this is the problem. We hyped Chad so much, and he was worth it. He was worth it. I'm not saying he wasn't worth it, but we hyped him to a godlike level. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, Chad is the Black Panther. Bruh, somebody else can play that role. Somebody else can play that role. And I would even go so far as to say, even if Chadwick Boseman was still alive today and decided he didn't want to play that role no more, somebody could still play that role. There is no role that can't be filled. You know? So that being the understanding, why would we worry about that role being filled? I don't think the worry is so much that we're concerned about it being filled. We're concerned about how well the actor's going to do in that role. Are we measuring them on their merit as an actor, or are we measuring them compared to Chadwick Boseman? When Michael Keaton departed the role of Batman, did we say Val Kilmer takes over the role of Batman, or is Val Kilmer going to play Batman as well as Michael Keaton did? When Christian Bale took over as Batman, when Brandon Routh took over as Superman, when Henry Cavill took over as Superman, did we compare them to Christopher Reeve? That's not going to change the fact that they taken over. We'll say they did a good job, but Chad will always be the standard. And if I'm Brandon Routh or Henry Cavill, I can live with that. I'm going to have to. I ain't got no choice. So it ain't whether or not Damson can play T'Challa. I guess it's a question of if he does play T'Challa, he needs to play T'Challa, not the son T'Challa of T'Challa. We need to let all that go, Marvel. We need to let all that go, baseball cap, man. We need to let all of that go and let it be what it is. Or in multiverse style, let it be what it was. Now, what are your thoughts? I know y'all got a bunch. I knew it. Oh, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Paul said, I assume he can act. I never saw Snowfall. I probably would have gone to what now? Y'all understand? Y'all understand? Rumor. Nothing has been confirmed. Nothing has been confirmed. Move forward on that premise. We talk about if he is. If he is. He has not been yet. Don't have me sounding like I put out some false stuff. Nah. Is he gonna sound Wakandan? I think he's a good enough actor to do so. If Letitia Wright can sound Wakandan, I'm pretty sure Damson Idris can sound Wakandan. Toussaint, God, I hope not. At this point, they're saying, at least what the speculation was, is at this point they could go in either direction. Hodge for T'Challa. Can he sound Wakandan? I'm sure he could. Ain't no one checking for Toussaint. Jared Payton wasn't his dad, Walter. The son isn't the father. I hope that's abundantly clear to some people at this point, Paul. Each actor brings his own presentation and nuance to the role, James Bond being a prime example. And that is a great example, Kamoyo. And just like with James Bond, we're always going to, or there's going to be a faction. I ain't gonna say everybody, but there's going to be a faction of people that say Sean Connery was the best James Bond. Can't nobody do James Bond better than Sean Connery. In my opinion, Sean Connery was the best. There are people you gonna encounter that are just like that. They probably older. They probably our age and older, but until they die out, you're gonna hear it. Whoever the next actor playing T'Challa will be must make the character his own so that we can't compare him to Chad. I agree wholeheartedly. He's 33. By the time Secret Wars comes around, he'll be 36. Hey, Gray. Why in the hell would he play an aged up child? He would want to see how he measures up to his predecessor in the same role. Please don't get me started on Aldous Hodge. He'd be a nasty T'Challa. A nasty T'Challa like nasty, or a nasty T'Challa like he'd be a real good T'Challa. Nasty. See? Exhibit C. The Rock With Me Nation is some freaks. That was a reach. I'm sorry. We won't go with that. I would accept him as T'Challa, but damn that T'Challa, T'Child. Too many. Y'all making me spit on my screen. Anyway, Roger Moore was the best Bond. They smoking. Now, I don't know if it was last week or I was having a conversation with somebody else, but I remember somebody saying, because we in that age group and that's our generation, a lot of people our age think that. Yay or nay? For me, it was Roger Moore until Pierce Brosnan came on the scene. Because to me, I don't know if y'all remember the show Remington Steele, but to me, even back then when he was doing Remington Steele, he was doing James Bond. And I'm like, get that dude to be James Bond. He's younger and he does it better. Or at least he seems to do it better. Lo and behold, ask him, won't he do it? Ask him, won't he do it? Yeah, I always thought that Pierce Brosnan would have made a great James Bond. And he did. So, Roger Moore was a great James Bond, but I like Pierce Brosnan just a little bit more. Not a lot, just a little bit. We don't know what an actor can do with a role until we see them in it. Keita, I know you right. That's what I'm saying. Give somebody a damn chance before you start talking. No, he couldn't do it like Chad do it. Oh, he couldn't do it better than Chad do it. We won't never know until. He's the one I grew up with. Just don't know. Yeah, but he was doing Roger Moore. No, okay. I don't, but if that's the case, he could have been doing Sean Connery. To me, he was a more streamlined Sean Connery. Not taking nothing away from Sean Connery, but I just feel like he was a more streamlined version of Sean Connery. Sean Connery had less jokes to crack, but I think that was some stuff that came with Roger Moore. Roger Moore was he leaned more in to, the little puns and the little jokes and that kind of a thing. And Brosnan just kind of picked up on it. And because each Bond makes something uniquely his own. Sean Connery is Bond Prime. There you go. Sean Connery is Bond Prime. Everybody else is a Bond too. So they add something unique. Because Daniel Craig brings something entirely different to Bond than what Pierce Brosnan brings, than what Timothy Dalton brought in his 2 movies. And Moore, Connery, all that. I just watched Crisis on Infinite Earths again the other night. I watched all 3 of them back to back. So that's where that explanation came from. Gray say Timothy Dalton was one of his favorites. Paul Martin liked Brosnan too. Now, let's just be honest about it. Nobody liked George Lazenby. Nobody liked George Lazenby. I think the one thing that got absorbed into the Bond amalgam from George Lazenby's legacy is the story about Teresa and Blofeld. Other than that, we paid more attention to the events and the other people on Her Majesty's Secret Service than we actually did to that James Bond. So Teresa was more important to me than Bond. She was actually cooler, to me. You know what I'm saying? And Kojak is Blofeld. That sounds weird saying, but it was the truth. Blofeld was Kojak. And Kojak was Blofeld. Weird. Sean Connery and Daniel Craig are my favorite Bonds. Okay, Bond debate on Friday vibing. Oh, if we can keep the conversation going there, I'm all with that. My mom thought of Moore as the saint from the TV show. Boom! Connery is the quintessential Bond. I would concede to that. I would say that he is the mold, because he's the mold. Moore, the refined Bond. I love Diana Rigg, though. Yes, Grandmadam, Mrs. Peel. No, Teresa Bond. Brosnan, the suave, debonair, Americanized Bond. I guess. Dalton, the utilitarian Bond that will do in a pinch. See, now people who, and that's exactly how I see Daniel Craig. That's exactly how I see Daniel Craig. Savage Bond. He's the Conan Bond. Oh, they made such a mess of that when they made that movie with Ray Fiennes and Uma Thurman. Oh my goodness, I was just it was, yeah. Yes, a lot of people in our generation do, Theo. And this is a great time to segue into nostalgia. Here we go. Here we go. I promised you some therapy, and here it is. Now imagine, if you will, okay, the oldest of us is in our 70s. So we would have to go back to, let's say, the 70s. That's about a fair drop off point for all of us. We were all, the majority of us, at some point, children, with one exception. It's Halloween. You got your little plastic mask and little plastic crab apron uniform that goes with your mask, and you out there trick or treating, and you scoring. I mean, you scoring, you scoring, you scoring. You getting all the good candy. You hitting all the good houses. You like, boy, I can't wait till I get home. I'm about to make a name for myself here. Woo! Is what you thinking. That's exactly what you thinking. But all of a sudden, you see older kids coming down the street. Now, how many of you was aware of bag snatches and knew to avoid them? Or were you that gullible child that just went down the street willy-nilly and walked straight towards them big kids and got your bag snatched? Did you get your bag snatched? Was your bag snatched? Well, I'm here to let you know. D-Real is here for you to help you process your Halloween trauma this Halloween season. Now, you have one or three paths that you ended up taking after that traumatic incident. The following Halloween, you either A, were more aware of your surroundings, B, you learned to switch your route up a little bit, or C, you grew up and became a bag snatcher yourself. Or you quit trick-or-treating? What kid does that? Unless you like a Jehovah's Witness or something like that. And that's not a knock on Jehovah's Witnesses. Did you end up bag snatching? Well, if you ended up bag snatching, do you think you were the minority or the majority? He said, nope, I roll with the big kids. You were more mindful of your surroundings, and you decided I didn't want to be in my surroundings by myself. That is definitely a viable option. And that helped some of your Halloweens to be a little less traumatic. But when you got older, did you just go, Halloween is for kids? Or did you say, let me go get me a pillowcase and see if I can snatch me a couple bags tonight? I don't remember hearing about that in Brooklyn. Maybe folks were too ashamed to talk about it. Man, I was in the Navy. This cat from Bed-Stuy told me he used to snatch bags. Maybe you just stayed in a nicer part of Brooklyn. I don't know. We used to keep rocks and marbles to pitch at them bag snatchers. Oh, damn. I came up in the projects. We rode 12 deep, little kids in the middle. Oh, my God. Keita say I was the bag snatcher since 89. Keita, you wasn't the only one, baby. You wasn't the only one. We was the exact opposite of what Kamoyo talking about. Like the kids rolling deep so they wouldn't get their bag snatched. We stalked them like Predator. You know what I'm saying? I mean, from the get-go, the whole plan was like 3 or 4 of us got together and was like, we going bag snatching tonight. How do you go bag snatching? Hey, let's do some recon. And you all little kids with their little costume. So I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it. But the stuff happened. I'm like Kamoyo, man. I was in the projects, bro. And in the projects, you eat or you get eaten. There ain't no two ways about it. You either the jacker or the Jackie. I wasn't gonna be no Jackie, not for too much longer. I mean, I think I can think of 1 year where I got my bag snatched and I went home and I cried about it. And my mama went to the corner store and bought me some candy and hollered at me the whole time she was doing it. But after that, like, ain't gonna happen again. Ain't gonna happen again. That was my villain story arc. That is where it began. Oh, I'll show them. I'll show them all. Hey, we can't all be heroes. He said, I done joined the Legion of Supervillains. Oh, speaking of the Legion of Supervillains, great segue. Great freaking segue. Did I do that? Yes, we already got there. Yes, that is the perfect segue. Badoo. We got 2 more topics we're going to talk about. 2 more topics. Well, I got additional topic. So we got 3 more topics we're going to talk about. But he said it was one family that sips. That was a problem for Holly. Let me stay focused for you. You're going to get me off here. All right. Banded together from remote region of the cosmos are 13 of the most sinister villains ever assembled. The Legion of Doom. Banding together for sole mission. The eradication of the Super Friends. Or in my case, the Black Justice League. So we've got 11 of our 13. Want to see them? Okie dokie. I think you've seen most of them. I'm going to try to get through these as quickly as I can. I hope they come out the plastic. Okay. Might as well kick it off the way we should kick it off. I got a couple in the mail today. I got my power suit Lex Luthor. Of course, you can have no Legion of Doom without Lex, right? So there we got Lex. Got the updated version of Captain Cold. I like that Captain Cold. He looks a little more. Leonard Snart never looked more dangerous. Or is that a different Captain Cold? I don't know. I got to get up on my flash, don't I? Now, I felt like the old Legion of Doom was really Batman heavy, and if you're gonna pit Batman's worst villain against him, that's not the Scarecrow. That's not the Riddler. It's this guy right here. He always deserved a spot in the Legion of Doom. I do not know why they never gave him one. Of course, Black Manta. I have a few versions of Black Manta. We're going to go with this one for all intents and purposes because it is Earth 1985 Legion of Doom. Of course, I have my cheetah. You cannot have a Legion of Doom without a cheetah. Now, on to these. Of course, there is Sinestro. We got Sinestro. Keita, did you say Kite Man? Girl, stop. Ain't nobody watching no Harley Quinn. I was watching Harley Quinn for a little while. Kite Man, hell yeah. No. If I make a clown Legion of Doom, I'll put Kite Man in it. Kite Man. Harley Quinn is satire. Anyway. And I got Solomon Grundy. Why is his head so little? I don't know, but it's Solomon Grundy. I like Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy is the Hulk, or it's Hulk Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy been around longer. He was an old villain in the Justice Society. And now here at this point is where my Legion variates. I have replaced Bizarro with Black Adam. He shall be the muscle of the group. Kamoyo, did you just say Kite Man is so fly? We took out Toy Man, Scarecrow, and the Riddler and replaced them with Metallo because Superman villains are more dangerous. Add two more. Star Sapphire. Remember I was telling you about Star Sapphire earlier? Yeah. And of course, Reverse Flash. Because why in the heck would you have a team and not have a speedster to counter their speedster? See how I think? That's how I think. If I was forming a Legion of Doom, if we truly wanted that Legion to be Doom, you know what I'm saying? Speedsters always look cool. But how come there are no black speedsters? Or not enough black speedsters? They just don't want us to have the power, y'all. They just don't want us to have the power, y'all. They want us to be lesser than. They want us to be lesser than when we are actually greater than. Kite Man is so fly. Once I get Grodd and Brainiac, the Legion shall be complete, and you shall get a pictorial. Now, speaking of pictorials, you have been following, or have you started to follow, my 10 days of Halloween pictorials that have been, and videos, because I'm going to add videos too, over on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Hmmm. Day 3. Day 3. Well, if you didn't catch day 1, did you catch day 1? Did you see day 1? Day 1 was Beings with Wings. and it showcased all the winged characters, whether they look diabolical or noble. I had my new Raptor in there, the G.I. Joe. So if you missed that, pull up to one of them. Bang. You talking about the Legion of Doom? Well, when you come up with Keita's Legion, when you come up with Keita's Legion of Doom, do that. You know what? You know who I think would be a cooler choice? The KG Beast. And I saw a KG Beast somewhere. I would rather have KG Beast than Bane. KG Beast tried to kill Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. I was rooting for that. Am I a bad person? Anyway, day 2, which you saw yesterday, was the Bestiary. And that one I was particularly proud of because I got a lot of beasts. And y'all ain't even begun to see them yet, but we got about 8 more days ahead. And day 3 is going to go up tonight. And day 3 is Vile Villainy. And it is showcasing the villains of Marvel Comics. And I'm going to give y'all a little sneak right now. Check it out. That's a little bit of how we getting down right there. There's some vile villainy right there. And then we pivot to the other side. And there's some more vile villainy that we got lurking up in the catacombs, plotting evil things, getting ready to hurt people or dominate people or do things they should not do. Doom does as he pleases because he is Doom. But yeah, and I got a video to go with it, and there are pictures of them all together. So y'all be checking for that tonight or tomorrow. If you go to bed after this, just check for it in the morning. But I have it up on all of those platforms that I mentioned to you because I already done took the pictures and shot the video. We're gonna be rolling in day 4. But y'all stay tuned for it, man. I'm having fun doing it. Say the KG Beast is a straight goon. You're a straight goon if you willing to chop off your own hand to escape capture. I think he's a little more dangerous than Bang. And he's cold and calculating too. Or he was. Or he is. He's still alive. You saying, oh, wow, about the pictures, Grand Madam? If you like those, I'm glad. I'm glad that you like them. I'm glad that you have smiled upon me with your opinion and your thought processes because it means a bit to me. Quite a bit, actually. Now, the last story I want to share with y'all is a very strange story. Well, let's not say strange. Let's say different. These two are Eliza Davis and Lin-Manuel Miranda. They are most famous for Hamilton. How many people saw Hamilton? Yep. Me neither. But I know of Hamilton. I know what Hamilton is. I've seen clips of Hamilton. I get it. Anywho, now they have turned their talents to creating a musical version of Sal Yorick's novel and Walter Hill's popular motion picture, The Warriors. Say what? Negro, is you tripping? No, I'm actually not tripping. Want me to read the article to you? Okay. It should probably be done because they announced this last year. I think it is done. Lin-Manuel Miranda is reportedly working on a stage musical adaptation of The Warriors based on Saul Urich's 1965 novel that later spawned the 1979 cult film by Walter Hill. The New York Post, followed by Variety, first reported on Miranda's involvement with the project, which will bring the story of the Warriors to the stage. We all know the story of the Warriors. Both the novel and the film center on a street gang as they travel 30 miles across New York back to their home turf after being wrongfully framed for the murder of a respected gang leader. The film version is not a musical, but the soundtrack does feature music by Barry Dvorak, Joe Walsh, and others. Palm-colored artists. Many of the tracks also appeared in the 2005 video game, which got IGN's seal of approval for doing amazing things with a license that most people probably wouldn't have expected much from. Miranda made his Broadway debut writing the music and lyrics of the 2008 musical The Heights. I'm not largely into those, but there are some that I do like. Anyway, so those of us who love the Warriors, what do you think? I'm curious. Those aren't the Warriors, but those are the people responsible for bringing the musical to life. Yeah, and with The Outsiders, Grand Madam, they that story of gangs has been turned into a musical anyway. I think the issue that people have with it, who have an issue with it, is the fact that we believe that somehow when something is turned into a musical, that it somehow blemishes. Well, it kind of does in a way, but not a musical. I don't think a musical is. Okay. I will say this. It depends on the material that you want to convert into a musical and the way you want to convert it into a musical. Now, let me read on. There's going to, I think what they did is pivoted to an album. Now let me hit you with this story off of NPR that came out last week. Okay, Lin-Manuel Miranda's new musical is based on a cult movie and is for your ears only. Lin-Manuel Miranda, the creator of Hamilton, and playwright Elsa Davis, a Pulitzer Prize finalist, have created a new Broadway musical, which is not actually on Broadway. Instead, it's a concept album meant to be listened to in one sitting. The idea came about because Miranda wanted to write something about the Warriors. The 19th, we know what it is. It's one of his favorite movies, and he couldn't stop thinking about how he could do his own love letter to it. Then he brought Davis on board, and they started thinking about the 70s. The album tells the Warriors story by using music that crosses genres, including hip hop, rock, ska, and salsa. It's sung by a cast that includes everyone from artists like Lauryn Hill, Nas, Ghostface Killer, and Billy Porter, to Broadway stars Philippa Sue, Jasmine Cephas Jones, and Amber Gray. We just got this dream idea of musical artists, Miranda said, so it was very freeing, always full of joy. Miranda and Davis flipped the gender of the warriors so that in their version, the gang is all women. I'm going to let that marinate right there. This means a central romance is one between women as well. The gender flipping allowed us to angle in on sexism and homophobia in the film and make sure that we left that in 79. Because as you remember, the character Ajax used the F word a lot. Miranda and Davis are now saying they have no plans for Warriors to come to Broadway, but that they'd love to see a stage adaptation of it down the road. So, concept album. That sounds a lot safer than a musical. So, what we thinking about that? Fellas, ladies, what we thinking about that? Let me see what y'all think about that, because y'all said a whole bunch. It's 2 generations out. Why not? Gray say this is bullshiggity. I tell ya. Joker 2 was a musical. How'd that turn out? All musicals aren't bad, Gray. You like The Wiz. To quote the sister that watched the white girl who found a box in the woods, put it back. Concept albums are made to listen in one sitting, are seldom engaging. Interesting. That sounds like an audio podcast. Oh, brother. Wakanda forever, basically. So we all in the same neck of the woods when it comes to that. But I, being a thespian and lover of the arts, just thought that I will bring that to the Rock With Me Nation just to see how you chew on it. So you're not getting into the gender identity. I see it as a distraction. Now that part, yeah, I was with it until. Oh, so you finna make the Warriors girls. Okay. So I guess we ain't gonna deal with are we going straight off the novel or straight off the movie? Because if we go straight off the novel, for those of us who have read the novel, do we know there's a rape scene, a gang rape scene in the Warriors? Who were known originally as the Dominators? Yeah, in that scene where she on the subway and she talk about, what about me? And they like, what about, well, not in the alley. And they like, what about you? That's where she got it. So we talking about having a romance. And I said the R word. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm gonna get demonetized. Anyway, yeah. So if we flipping things, then that means we're taking things out. And so you are in effect desecrating the source material. Yeah, there's too many twists and turns. Yeah. Yeah, I ain't with it. I'm just, hey, they need to do some more. They need to do some more workshopping. They need to do some more workshopping. They need to do some more workshopping before you bring it to the public. And speaking of what we bring it to the public, boom. It's time. It's time. Come on, yo. It's time. It's time. It's time. Q&A. Q&A. Going on now. Day. What you say? What you say? Q&A. Okay. We're going to have to work on a better theme song. Questions you may have for me that you think I might be able to answer. questions you have for me that you don't think I might be able to answer. Ask questions you think might spark a conversation. We got about 10 more minutes. I ain't gonna try to keep y'all here because I'm trying to get out of here eventually. Anyway. He said, singing it is. Cochise would never. Female Cochise would neither. I can see Cochise saying that too. Oh my goodness. Huh. I don't think Swan would say Swan. Anyway. All right. Q&A. In your opinion, who does interstellar splash pages better in comics? Well, the interstellar splash pages that I would mention would probably be Jim Starlin, Steranko. Steranko did some cool space splash pages. Who did you have in mind, Moyo? I could take this big old thing down. Y'all know it's cute. So did you have somebody in? I mean, I guess I'm curious to know who would have been your fave. Do you think they'll ever make Luke Cage a priority again in the comics, not the MCU? Yes. I think Luke Cage being the mayor of New York City limits a lot of what he can do as a crime fighter. And not because of the laws or the rules or regs. It's just in the capacity of mayor. When you got time to be a superhero. I think Luke Cage will become a priority again when Luke Cage is prominent on the screen again. If they do a Luke Cage show, if Luke Cage pops up in the MCU, if they do a Luke Cage cartoon, I think Luke Cage will become prominent again. He's gone. But he's not forgotten, as your comment illustrates vividly. Speaking of Jim Starlin, do you have any interest at all in a live action Dreadstar? If so, movie or series? Damn. Oh God. We talking about Epic Comics, ain't we? Dreadstar. Okay. I wouldn't mind seeing a live action Dreadstar. Yeah. Why not? Couldn't do no worse. I was leaning more towards DC Comics specific artists. I have trouble remembering at this time. It was mainly the Green Lantern stories and some JLA stuff. Oh, wow. Well, you are aware there are what artist draws exclusively for DC? I mean, because it seemed like over like the past 30, 40 years, artists have been contracted and now they can now people go draw wherever they want to draw. Some of the same people I see in Marvel are drawn for DC and vice versa. So now writers, that's a whole different story. They flip flop too, but not as often as artists. Back to Luke Cage. I hate that mayor turn. They just want him standing around shouting about injustice and not punching villains. Yeah, because I mean, Luke at his core has always been an angry black man. Period. That's just what he is. Unless he's trying to get some coffee. He is always, Luke Cage has always been a pretty surly fella. You know, standing like what? What is he, like 6'6", 425, all muscle? Bruh. You don't need to be no mayor. A Luke Cage prose novel is coming out in 2025 by Black author S.A. Barnes, author of Razorblade Tears. Okay. Interesting. You have to let me know when that when it's closer to time for that to come out. Always interested in some prose with prose. That is I used to do I probably still could if I got up off of my butt. I used to do a poetry show back in the day called Prose with Prose. Fun. People have been tapping me about, hey, do I want to get back into the swing of writing poetry and doing spoken word poetry? I may think about it a little more seriously. He, Luke Cage, is intimidating to them, even as a fictional character. The angry black man always has. The concept that me and my lady refer to as fear of the black fist. And it just seemed like once they see you blackety black, it's either hands off, don't F with him, or you're a troublemaker. One or the other. Just how it is. No more. No more Q&A. No more questions. No more comments. No more discussion. Somebody that's Xavier Worthy's mom. Nothing in particular I want to report about it. Just that's Xavier Worthy's mom. Nothing important. No bearing. It's just Xavier Worthy's mom. Anyway, yo, I think it is about that time in the day where we riggedy rap and call it good. But yo, y'all make sure that you are tuned in to this station right here tomorrow around this same bad time, this real channel for Friday Vibing with D-Real and Theo B. It is going to feature special guest Kokai Nosakere. He is a community organizer, agent of change. He teaches people how to understand things as they are associated with race relations. Black folks, white folks getting along. Black folks, white folks understanding each other. He has written books. He has done seminars. My man is legit. And I've known him since about 2003. So this is going to be a spirited live. It's going to be a spirited conversation. Also, too, he loves wrestling. I would dare y'all to try to have a Q&A with him about wrestling. He is a living repository of wrestling knowledge. Like that. It will definitely be a fun Friday vibing, and so I strongly suggest that y'all pull up for it. If that's it and y'all ain't got nothing else for me, all I got to say is, yo, y'all be good and be good to each other. Y'all pull up tomorrow, you're gonna love it. Y'all pull up tomorrow, you're gonna love it. Y'all pull up tomorrow, y'all gonna love it. Y'all pull up tomorrow, you're gonna love it. I'm out. Peace.